Hello, my name is Shay Ross, and I'll be going over Montessori education today, including how it differs from traditional education, the role of the teacher in the classroom, effect on learning outcomes in students, and much more. To begin, we need to know what a Montessori school is. So, Montessori education is pillared in a student-centered and individually paced philosophy within the classroom in which teachers are tasked with observing, facilitating, and assessing the development of each individual student. Based on their development, students are presented with new lessons and materials on an individual basis based on the curriculum that the teacher has developed for them. Classes fe- Classes feature mixed age groups that are broken up into 3-year periods, usually beginning with 3 to 6 year olds. Students are taught to be autonomous and intrinsically motivated to complete their work and usually develop a very positive attitude toward school and fostering their education based on that choice that they're able to make. The overwhelming majority of these schools today are private and tuition based, but there are some that operate as public schools as well. And those schools receive federal funding just as a non-Montessori school would as well. Montessori education does not provide grades to students or any other form of summative assessment. And although public Montessori school students still must meet the same standards and take the same standardized test as traditional students, private institutions are not required to make their students take those tests. So now I'm going to go into a bit on the history of Montessori schools and the philosophy that it was founded on. Montessori education was born in 1896 in Italy when Dr. Maria Montessori, who was also Italy's first physician, recognized that underprivileged children that she had been studying responded to hands-on sensory learning with a deep concentration, resulting in a fundamental change in their way of being within the classroom, changing from the ordinary behavior of fantasy, inattention, and disorder to a state of profound peace, calm, and order within their environment. She soon founded the Montessori method of education, which hasn't really experienced any major changes over the hundreds of years since its origination. So now I'm going to move into how you can become a certified Montessori teacher if you'd like, being that you guys are all potential teaching candidates. So in order to become a Montessori teacher within a private school setting, technically all that a person has to do is complete a Montessori teaching program, which can be completed in just 1 year. In order to teach in a public Montessori school, though, teachers must complete that same sort of training course that I was just mentioning, on top of the bachelor's degree in education that they already probably have, or that they must have. So the role of the teacher within Montessori classrooms is completely different than in traditional schools. A Montessori teacher is responsible for meticulously observing each student within their classroom as they work and being a resource that supports students in their work, assesses students' progression, um, and determines an individually sequenced curriculum for each student based on their strengths, weaknesses, and how they're developing. So a term that I've heard a lot within um, just my education courses is that like guide on the side. And while like traditional teachers also employ that method sometimes, that's literally like all that a Montessori teacher is focused on. So there are some definitely tangible effects on learning outcomes for students that attend Montessori schools. So according to multiple studies that I found conducted that compare Montessori students to their peers attending traditional schools, Montessori students are more advanced both academically and socially than their peers. They are more advanced in their ability to solve problems and express themselves, and they tend to enjoy the educational experiences more than their peers in traditional settings. There are multiple factors really contributing to this difference in achievement. These include the intrinsic motivation, autonomy, and independence that Montessori education fosters, as well as the social responsibility student-oriented classrooms inspire in general. So lastly, I'm going to move into how Montessori schools are funded and regulated, which might seem like it would be a lot different, but really it's not. Public Montessori schools are government funded the same way as any other public school in the country would be. And private Montessori schools also mirror their traditional counterparts in that same way. However, Montessori schools do have a different process for becoming accredited than a non-Montessori school would. Um, and the two main accrediting organizations within the Montessori school world are the Association Montessori Internationale and the American Montessori Society. Thank you.